Good afternoon to one and all. Myself Prashant Kumar from IIMT Group of College, Noida. Today I am giving the lecture on fundamental rights and duties. I am covering my lecture in 5 points. First, introduction, then about the fundamental rights given in Indian Constitution, then about the fundamental duties which are also given in Indian Constitution, then a comparative analysis between the fundamental duties and fundamental rights, and the last point is the conclusion of that. If we talk about the introduction of Constitution, the Constitution of India is the supreme law of India. It lays down the framework, design principles, powers, and duties of different government institutes and sets out the fundamental duties, rights, directive principles, and duties of all citizens. If you talk about the in terms of Constitution, it's the world largest written constitution in terms of length as well as in terms of written words. If I talk about this, the total constitution, it's containing 448 articles along with 25 parts, 12 schedules, and 5 appendix, along with 98 amendments out of 120 constitutional amendment bills. Now, if we talk about the in terms of languages, besides English, it's also available in Hindi. And Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar ji is worldwide known as a father of Indian Constitution, which not only make the constitution, but they just synchronize this constitution along with the future aspect of Indian culture as well as the religion point of view. Now, if we talk about the fundamental rights, basically these are the character rights of the Constitution of India. You can say Indian Constitution character shows the fundamental rights shows the character of Indian Constitution. It is given in Part 3rd of Indian Constitution containing the list of fundamental rights. Basically, if we talk about the fundamental rights, they ensure the guarantee to all civilians about their liberties as well as their dignity, such that every Indian can lead their lives and with peace, live lives with their peace and harmony. Now, there are total 6 fundamental rights which are given in Indian Constitution. If we talk about one by one, first, right to equality in terms of gender, in terms of you can say all respect from A to Z. Next, right to freedom, it may be contain your freedom of speech, freedom of expressions. And third one is freedom against exploitation. Fourth one is right to freedom of religions. And if you talk about the fifth one, it is cultural and educational rights. And the most important one is the sixth one, that is the right to constitutional remedies. Now, if we discuss one by one, first it is the right of equality. They comes under the Article 14 to 18. It refers to the equality in eyes of law. That means, as per the law, all are equal. Whether they belong to any caste, creed, race, religions, place of birth, sex, and all human beings are born by free by the God. That means whenever God make his creature as a human being, they all are free from all discriminations to get their dignity and unity. Now, if we talk about the right to freedom, if we talk about the freedom, if everybody says freedom, I need freedom, but not in all respect. They are just synchronized, they are just limited by the Constitution under Article 19 to under Article 22. If we talk about the right of freedom, they contain freedom of speech, freedom of expression in terms of their association, union, freedom to move freely throughout the territory of India, freedom to reside and settle down in any part of the India, whether you belong to Jammu, Kashmir, or Delhi. You can settle in each and every part of the country as per your need and as per your according to your job profile and according to your culture profile. Now, if we talk about the right to exploitation, if we talk about the right to exploitation, they comes under the Article 23, 24. The main aim of these rights are basically to avoid all exploitation in terms of child labor as well as in terms of child harassment. Now, if we talk about, there are two main motive of that, the two major provisions which are given in question. The first one is abolition of forced labor. Nobody can force any child to go for the labor. And if we talk about the second one is the abolition of employment of the children under 14 years. That means up to 14 years, nobody can force to do the labor. The primary motive is that to just go for them the basic education. Now, if we talk about the right to freedom of religions, they are more important as you know, we have a secular country. They gave under Article 25 to 28 It supports the freedom of any individual or group that every citizen has to right to participate and promote their religion peacefully within the limitation within the range of Indian Constitution. The concept is generally recognized also include the freedom of change religions and not to follow any religions. We have also provision in the Constitution. You can change your religions as per your internal voice. And secondly, nobody can stop you if you are not following any religions. You can free to have any religions and you can free to not to adopt any religions. Now, if we talk about the culture and education, that it's most important to grown up the society. They comes under Article 29 to 30. These rights allow every citizens of India to have a cultural and educational setup where the person wants. That means no citizen shall be denied admission in any of the educational institute depending on the basic of their religions, on their race, their caste, and their language. Now, if we talk about the 600, the most important tool which are given in Indian Constitution for the society development, that is the right to constitutional remedies. They comes under the Article of 32. They protect the right of citizen. They can stand up and fight for their fundamental rights. In case any violation of their rights and anybody denied about their rights to follow, then one can go for the court and court can give them remedy, immediate relief regarding to their respective violation of their rights. Now, fundamental duties. People are more confused about their fundamental rights and duties. Initially, the fundamental rights are imposed in Indian Constitution whenever it was formed in 1950. But if you talk about the duties, they are imposed in Indian Constitution by 42nd largest amendment in 1976. Sometimes the people are known as a small constitution because of one of the major constitution amendment was there known as the 42nd amendment. Now, under there, these fundamental duties are ones that every recognize their moral obligations as well as citizens accepted to perform. That means they create a sense of responsibility to every citizen against their freedom. Now, they comes under Article 51A, Para 4A, Constitution of India, about the 40 fundamental duties. As we discussed already, there comes under the 42nd Amendment of the Indian Constitution. There are 11 fundamental duties. We are discussing one by one. First one, we should respect the national flag and national anthem. That means they should create the sense of responsibility, the sense of moral duties towards our patriotism. Now, if we talk about this second one, we should always respect the noble ideas which inspired our national struggle for the freedom. As we know, our freedom fighters pay a lot of, you can say, do a lot of work. They spoil their life. They can say pass on their life in terms of 100 to 1000 to get our freedom. Now, if we talk about the next one, it is to uphold and protect the unity and integrity of India first and foremost. That means we should maintain the peace and harmony so that we can maintain the unity and integrity of India. If we talk about the next one, that is citizens should be ready to defend the country whenever they are called. That means we are not get okay, we are safe whenever we are in our country. But whenever we are forced to protect our country, our unity and integrity from the against the external threat or internal threat, we should stand up. We talk about the fifth one. It's very important to promote the harmony and spirit of brotherhood in the society. That means all Indians, including every religions or their gender, they should maintain the harmony of brotherhood by containing the dignity of women, by maintaining the dignity of women without any discrimination. Next, it is very important. We should preserve the rich and composite heritage culture of our country in different manners. Now, if we talk about the seventh one, that is most important. We should protect the natural environment in terms of lakes, rivers, wildlife, and we are accepted to preserved by the citizens because it's a moral duty of all citizens. Now, we talk about the eighth one. We should develop a scientific temperament so that to maintain the humanism and the spirit of inquiry and reform, we should go for the extreme good scientific temperament for the development of the country. Now, most important, we should safeguard the public property and avoid any violence against the public property. Now, we talk about the next one. People should accept to get excellence of individual development of the country, so that collective efforts or activity to help in the development of country. And if we talk about the last one, it is very important for the youth. That is, we should provide equal opportunity for education and for the child age between 0 to 14. Now, if we talk about this comparative chart, if we talk about the comparative chart with respect to duties and rights, if we talk about the rights, these are the rights which are guaranteed and ensured by the Constitution of India. If we talk about duties, these are the sense of responsibility which comes from the bottom of heart of the individual just to do their country. Now, if we talk about this fundamental rights, they exist by the virtue of the faith that you are a human being. But if we talk on the other hand, in terms of fundamental duties, the fundamental duties exist as a responsibility of as a human being. What responsibility you have as a human being for your country. Now, if we go to the next one, fundamental rights are based on the privilege guarantee. But if we talk about the fundamental duties, they are the privilege accountability towards the country. Now, if we talk about in terms of counting, there are 6 fundamental rights. But if we talk about the duties, there are 11 fundamental duties. Now, if we talk about the next one, any citizen of that matter can make full use of his fundamental rights, but with the freedom of his speech and right of life within the limitation of constitution. But if we talk about the moral and duties, any citizen of that matter accepted to carry out the fundamental duties fully well so that the society as a whole will be benefited rather than an individual. That means that your duties must be in such a manner they should protect, they should help out the whole country or whole citizens rather than the individual community. Now, if we talk about the conclusion, fundamental rights and fundamental duties are of no use until and unless we use our rights for the betterment of the society, betterment of the country. Only written things are different, but if we talk about on the ground, they're entirely different. It's time to leave our differences behind, come together and fight for the things which are fundamental rights to grow our country. So it's time to revolution for the new app.